And I think that's such a key point, and we would totally agree with you on that front. I think the human element is going to be even more important going forward, because people are going to be unsure of what's real and what's not real. We've been through a period like with the pandemic and stuff where a lot of human interaction was lost for a time. So I think while all of these tools are fantastic, I think that human element is going to become more and more important, but it has to be real and authentic, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people see through it very quickly. If you're, especially with industries like personal injury law, which are notorious for being known as, ambulance chasers and stuff like that. At the end of the day, when you focus on local SEO, there's a lot of opportunities to be made there. I mean, I optimized a client's local SEO page and drove another $600,000 a year to his business, and you still can't get around the bad reviews. Right? You still can't run a poor business and hope that, you can get enough of your friends and family to write reviews on how great you are. At the end of the day, it always catches up to you. So you have to get to the core of, do we treat people well? And do we, have we created a good reputation for ourselves? And that just comes down to the basics.
Yeah. And also you said about being interesting, and you mentioned something about earned media, and I would agree with you. I think that's something that people do overlook a lot, because it takes some work, but I mean, it means that you have to have something to contribute that publications want to work with you.
Yeah, it's about, I'm actually working with a friend's business right now. It's about the media hook, right? Distilling down what you do to make it interesting. And in his particular situation, we live in a time now where people are on their phones, they're disconnected. So he's trying to solve that problem. And that's what I sort of do for people with my PR background. It used to be called newsjacking, where essentially a headline would come out and I'd figure out how to insert my client in the conversation. One of the problems, though, is if you do put yourself too much out there and you are the brand and you are the business, if things go awry or you don't want to be in the public eye anymore, it's very difficult to walk that back. So I really try to talk people out of building a business that's just about one man or woman, and then trying to sell that business is a little difficult at times.
No, absolutely. And you're saying is, I mean, how does a business figure out what its personality really is? Because I think that's another thing too. What I see a lot today is businesses trying to adopt maybe personalities that don't suit them, and then trying to, market themselves in a way that really just doesn't sync with who they actually really are.
One of the things I still go back to is focus groups. They're great. They're inexpensive. I've run several of them for clients and they're kind of fun. You sit behind the glass and you play people your commercials, but it really starts on day one. Why are we doing this? And it can't just be to buy a sports car. It's really, we're starting this business to make people feel X, Y, Z. And you can really just look to the entertainment business to do that great. The reason women love Beyonce is because she makes them feel a certain way. She makes them feel powerful, and regardless of the music, she's tapped into something in them. And so that's what I usually ask people before we start the Facebook ads, before we start the media. What exactly are we selling? And can you sell it to me in 4 words? And that can take 6 months to figure out.